effect and some height to the design as well. So just looking at the curve of the stem and placing that into the foam. Now I do have some foam in this container, so depending on the style of the arrangement, you can either use foam or just water. Some of the lovely orange gladioli, and these are great for height. We're bringing those up tall. Now, some people like to take off the ends, but I tend to like to leave them on because it gives a natural finish to the stem. And again, some of the, just bringing the line of the gladioli right down. Just one more gladioli, bring that a wee bit shorter. So as I say, type in below where you're joining me from, and also what's your plans for Halloween. I'm planning a walk around the town tomorrow. There's, as I say, lots going on, the light shows. And then on Thursday, we have the firework display and the parade in the evening. So just adding the gladioli there up tall, and also one to the back to give a bit of depth into the arrangement. So in contrast to the orange, I have these gorgeous kind of blue hydrangea. And they give a lovely contrast in colour to the orange. So bring them in at the base, building them up. Just let them fall over the edge of the container, breaking the line of the container. So this would make a lovely welcome arrangement for your home. So these gorgeous, beautiful, they're like a, I don't know if you can see on camera, they're like a bluey purple colour, which are just fabulous. And we've had a lot of wet weather here recently, so a few brown heads tucked in underneath the lovely blue ones, but once I got them in, I just went through them, picking off all the brown ones that the water had got to. And they look just perfect. Layered them up a wee bit and having a bit of height as well. So I brought all the hydrangea. These are from the garden, and when they were brought in, they were cut at a slant and put into some fresh water. And we always take the white foam out of the bit that we've cut away as well. So we just have that lovely blue purple colour at the base, and a great contrast to the orange as well. And then we have some dried papyrus grass, and I've tied those up like little broomsticks just to give a bit of interest. Just a fun way of using up maybe some dried pieces that you have from other projects. And just by adding these in after Halloween, we will be able to remove them quite easily, and you'll still have your lovely arrangement. Just making a gathering of those, and they're there just to balance the contorted willow at the other side. And we'll bring that down low as well. So just adds a different texture, and also ties together the rough texture of the contorted willow and also the colour as well. So it's kind of, rather than this being on its own. And then just to finish our line of orange at the base, we have some of these beautiful, vibrant orange roses. And we'll add them to the base of the design, just giving us a focal area. I think just to reflex these, just to change the form. Just by reflexing them, changes the form of the rose, makes it a lot bigger. And this works really well whenever the rose is at room temperature. If it's too cold, they're very difficult to manipulate. Just bring them back and they just transform the form of the rose. Bring them at the base of the design. And we do the next one. So as I say, a lot of trick-or-treaters. The town's been very busy all week with all sorts of best things going on, music playing, awakening the walls. It is a walled city, so the walls have been brought to life with music and light. So it'll be lovely to see. Always looks much better in the hours of darkness. So like just reflexing them changes the form of the rose completely. And as you can see, the rose looks quite orangey when it's closed, but when you reflex it, it gives a lovely burst of yellow. It gives you a different colour as well.
Just while you're doing that, John Paul, Karen says she is watching you from Ellen in Aberdeenshire.
So Ellen in Aberdeenshire.
No, Karen and Ellen.
Ellen, Aberdeenshire.
And Linda says hello from Brodie Ferry and wishes you a happy Halloween.
And Linda and Brodie Ferry. So the Scottish are here this evening with us, not too far away. So it's good to have people online and tuning in.
And you can comment on YouTube or on Facebook. We'll get them on either.
Yes, so you can comment on YouTube or Facebook, and we'll get your comments there, and Roy will call them out to me. If you do have any questions as well, just ask. Hopefully I'll be able to answer them, but if I can't, someone watching will be able to. So feel free and sit back and enjoy these lovely Halloween colours. So there we have the reflex roses, just to give us the focal point of the design. And then what I wanted, I have a few of the dried aspidistra leaves that I just left. Once they started going over, I just took them out of the water and just left them in a bucket of a dry bucket, and they naturally go from green to this lovely brown colour. So we can add these in, and these will just link the orange of the gladioli to the orange of the container, and they work well for the colour of the container, so that brings that into the design as well and just gives it a bit more unity. It's one of my, I always encourage to use the colour of the container if possible into the design, as that creates the unity for your arrangements.
Angela is watching on YouTube there, John Paul. She says beautiful.
Good evening, Angela. You're very welcome.
And we have Christine who's watching you in Wexford, and she says happy Halloween.
Hi, Christine. Hope you're having a lovely Halloween, everybody that's watching and preparing. Now, I know here that cooking and baking food's a big thing here too for Halloween. So I don't know, do you do a lot of baking or have parties? I do florals. I'm not very good at baking, but I do florals. So we all do a bit and we all come together. So it's always a family event on Thursday night. So we're all preparing for that. So that's just the first design. The lovely yellows and oranges with the contrast of the blue hydrangea. So we'll put that aside, and we'll get photographs of these up later on when it's all over, so you can get a proper look, closer look at them. Keep this up here. So that's the orange and the blue one. So I'm going to move on to something quite simple. And I have this lovely black container that I bought probably at the start of the year. Very unusual. I have it in different sizes, but I thought this was just a nice size for sitting on a dining table or buffet table. But it's the black container.
Don't know how well the shape of that shows up because of your dark jumper behind it. That's better.
So maybe we'll see the shape better. It's in different tiers. And then we just add water to this. So you could do this with any container, a lovely interesting container, or just a glass vase, a vase. Just a few I may disappear and come back again because I have things all around me, so I have to remember which is for what. So just a few sticks that I picked up along the way, dusted them off. We'll just add these the other way. You're just going to add these in to the container. And these wee ones are a wee bit tricky because they have wee nodes on them, but on the other hand, it's quite good because it helps support each other up. So just add these in. It gives a bit of interest to the base.
Just while you're doing that, John Paul, over on Facebook, Brenda is saying good evening to you from Colchester.
Hi, Brenda. How are you? And I hope you're lovely and relaxed. Hope you're all lovely and relaxed. Maybe with a cup of tea and just sitting back and enjoying the florals. So I'm going to start off with some of the rosehip berries. So once I have the branches in, we have some of the spaces in it we can use for our plant material. So just some of these rosehip berries. I'm going to take a bit off that. And it's just a matter of finding the right space for the right stem. Get that in there. And if anyone's like me, you make sure you have the right glasses on as well so you can see where you're going. Just some of the berries. And even the berries on their own are just lovely, and they show up really well against the black and the natural stems. So once and then you can just tidy up the rosehip. And then I have some of the lovely calla lilies that I'm going to add in.
Well, you're getting them out, John Paul, I'll just say Duncan is saying hello from Brighton. He's watching on YouTube and he says happy Halloween.
Hi Duncan, how are you?
And then
having a lovely evening.
We have Anne who's on Facebook and she's watching from Cork. She says she met you a few years ago at one of your demonstrations.
Hi Anne, how are you? Yes, I've been to Cork a few times. What flower club did you see me at? It's always nice to know where people remember you from. So just adding in some of the calla lilies. And I'm adding two by two. These stems are quite soft. They're quite delicate because of the smaller ones, but we just add two together. It gives strength and one will hold the other. So I'm just altering the heights. Bring them together with just a little bit of the paper covered wire. Now you could do this with the metallic wire as well, but I thought the paper covered wire works well against the wood. Just wee details like that brings everything together. So it's nice just to keep that in mind when you're deciding on wee bits like that. And wee elements like that, I should say, that you're designing with. Just bringing those right in. Different heights. And be firm but gentle. You can see this all the way around. So we're just bringing the calla lilies down. And again, they went in 2 by 2. So you have this lovely yellow-orange tone again, fiery colour of the calla lilies, Sandadecia, and the lovely red picks up on the rose hip as well. But you get the lovely lime green stem, which add that accent of colour and just brightens the design completely. Just add that in. And then we'll add just one single one to the bottom. There we are. So it gives a very modern twist, very modern appearance to the colors of autumn. So just a few branches to give you the texture, and also to give you the construction to hold up your flowers, to support your flowers. I'm just going to turn that around. I think I'll just put these last couple into the back. And that way, it doesn't matter where you put it. You can have it as an all-round design, or even it's good. Even if it's up against a mirror, remember to put something at the back, because you'll have the reflection of the flowers coming through the mirror. So when you're doing the bind wire, the paper covered wire, I always try and keep it as neat as I can, rather than wrapping it so fastly with a lot of the bind wire. So there we go. That just looks quite fiery coming up through from the black. Something, as I say, quite modern, and just the structure of the stems or the branches in keeping your stems in place. So there we are, just a very simple design. Also, if you have a lovely container that's a wee bit unique, it's nice just to do something quite simple in it, so that you're not covering up the container by using a lot of foliage or anything overly fussy. So we'll just lift that one aside. Here. Like I said, I'll get these all photographed when we're finished, and get them up online as well, so you can all have a zoom in and have a closer look on them as well. So moving on to another one. A simple plant pot. This time it's gold. So there's many different colors that we use for Halloween or for fall. So another question I have for you is, what color palette is your favorite for the autumn time, or harvest, or Halloween? I know we kind of go back to the orange, and that was kind of led by the pumpkins, but what's your favorite color? And then I'll tell you mine a wee bit later on. But I thought I would go with the black container. Black lends itself pretty much a lot to Halloween, because you have that really dark, moody feeling from it. So yeah, the black with just the bit of gold will help lighten it. So we're going to start with the gold birch, to give a bit of height. And like I was saying earlier on, it's just to bring the gold from the containers, and bringing the gold up through from the container into the design. Now, it's really difficult to have that metallic feeling without being too shiny. So these ones are almost a dull gold. They're not sparkly or anything like that. So we'll just start with that for the height.
You're asking about colours, John Paul, for
yes.
autumn. So Angela says oranges and reds.
Yes.
And Duncan says yellow, oranges, and browns.
So very, very harvesty and fall colours.
And then Morgan Douglas Nuth is come on saying hello from the Netherlands. He's watching the demonstration. So he's
Hi Morgan, how are you? It's nice to have these people on watching and listening and commenting and talking back to me, so that I'm not here talking to myself like I normally do. I do have mirrors, and sometimes I talk into the mirror, but generally you talking, no one's talking back. So thank you for talking back to me this evening. As I was saying earlier on, the festivities and the fireworks are going off outside, so you might hear the loud bangs, but it's lovely and calm in here. So we're just bringing that a little bit of height with the gold, just keeping the lines of the gold and the line straight on forward with that. So it's not been too bad weather here. It's been a lovely day today. It's been quite wet this last few days. But I did take advantage and went to a friend to visit her garden with a pair of secateurs and a box and a bag to see what I could find. So some of this stuff has come from the garden on my walk around today. And it's amazing because I was there just maybe at the start of the weekend past, and there were so much things just in bud or just starting to go over, and we're there today, and there's things there that wasn't there last week, and things have turned and changed. So it's inspiring to, when you're walking around the garden, just to pick a few blooms and maybe just tie them together, even to give as a gift, or to do a nice arrangement for yourself at home. And one of the things that I did find was the black elderberry berries. So adding these in to bring the black of the container in as well. And I must say they were in a very awkward place. So we had to get the long extending cutters to go back and get them for us. So I'm just keeping, some of the leaves are fine, so I'm going to keep them on to give us the green, just to fall over and break the line of the container. I just really want to cluster these tightly.
While you're putting your berries in there, John Paul, Karen's come in with her autumnal colours. She said are red, brown and orange.
Red, brown and orange. So for anyone who's just joined us, I was asking what is your favourite autumnal colour palette, either to inspire you or in flower world.
And then Gwenda's come on just to say hello and to say she first saw you at Art Garvin demonstrating, and your displays are amazing. It's always a pleasure to watch you.
Art Garvin, I was just there the other day doing a morning demonstration. It's nice I love getting out and meeting all these new people. But I must say, if you ever meet me in person, I'm really bad with names. I always remember faces, but I'm really bad with names. So you will have to maybe be reminding me. After a few times of meeting somebody, I do remember their name, but it takes a wee while for it to stick. Just some of those black elderberries. And they're just perfect, those black, to bring the black of the container up through the design. And then I'm going to add in some of the spiky mahonia. Now, I prepared this before we started because it's quite prickly. So I took a few off the bottom, a few leaves off the bottom, just so that we can add these in without any oohs and ouches. Just using the curve of the stem as well, rather than trying to put it straight and then fighting with it and having some cross words with it. Just looking at the shape of the stem and deciding which way you want to design with it, which way you want to place it into the. I have some floral foam in this one, which does make it easier for going in at an angle. Without floral foam, if it's just into some water, it can be a wee bit more difficult to get the stems exactly where you want them to be. But the spikiness I thought went well with the black, kind of moodiness of the black.
Brenda's come in with her colours on Facebook, John Paul. She is a different. We've had reds and oranges so far. She says that she likes deep purples and mauves with some orange.
So that's a different colour palette altogether, which is lovely. And there is so much colours at this time of year, and just having a walk around the park. We have a park just above us here, and it's lovely just to go at lunchtime or whatever and have a walk around. And there's some beautiful flowers, and the colours are amazing. Just how they grow. So adding some of the euphorbia. Now, this is lovely euphorbia. Sometimes you get the euphorbia and it's quite, depending on the variety. This one has quite elongated side stems, so that was good for me because I wanted kind of nice and open and airy. With the euphorbia, you just need to be careful because it has the white sap. So do be careful if you are using euphorbia to make sure you wash your hands properly afterwards. Otherwise, it could be a bit annoying for you to either make you sick or get into your irritate your eyes or something like that. I did once have it in my eye before, and it wasn't very pleasant. So I'm very tedious to washing my hands after using this now. Just taking off a few of the stems, or a few of the leaves, I should say. I'm just bringing that down through the gold.
So Eileen on Facebook saying she's enjoying your demonstration tonight.
Oh, thank you, Eileen, and you're very welcome for joining us. You're all very welcome. So just the euphorbia at the top, inspired by the lovely fireworks that's going on outside. Let's say the big firework displays here on Thursday evening. So that'll be very busy in the town, and a lot of people will be out for that. If I go into the town for the Halloween or anything, it always ends up with hot chocolate on the walls. So that's always, even if it's raining, or most years it does be raining. Here it's very rare it's not raining. But this year it looks like it's going to be dry for the first time in a long time. So we might not need our raincoats this year. So I was asking about the color palette, what people's favorites was, and I must say mine's is the burgundy and pink tones with the burgundy, and then it's just like a splash of orange or something then to contrast that. But I like the pinks and the kind of burgundy tones, which is lovely. We just have that euphorbia. This is just giving that wee bit of height. To say, like the fireworks. And then into the design, then I have some of the little Germany with the black eyes. And again, I chose the one with the black eye just to bring a bit of black into the design, which is always good. It's always nice. It's always gives more unity whenever you have the color of the container brought into the design itself. So we're going to add them in. And as you can see, they're held up with little like straws. And this is how they're delivered to us mainly. But if they come without it, we put these on whenever they first come into the shop, because when they come in, they're dry packed, so they have a bit of a lump neck. So just by putting them on and then putting them into water, it just helps gives them a wee bit of support until they're ready to stand on their own. We're just adding these in to the design as well.
Heather's on Facebook. She's saying she's loving all your arrangements.
Well, thank you for all the lovely comments. As I say, it's nice. I hope you're all sitting lovely and relaxed at home. I know I'm doing this, but I'm quite relaxed as well. So it's nice just to work in your own environment. And
with being on YouTube tonight, maybe some people are watching you on their TV as well. So could be sitting back.
People watching on the TV, that could be dangerous. That means I'm bigger.
Widescreen.
Widescreen, yes.
You've been let off easy tonight, so no questions for you.
Yeah, very good tonight. No difficult questions, which is always a good thing. So we have some of the Germany insides, just tucking a couple in underneath now to bring the orange down into the design. And because the orange is quite a vibrant color, I'm going to add them in through the stems, just so that they're drawing the eye into the design and they're not being very dominant. But you have that lovely spiky, feathery texture of the Germany, which kind of brings the spikiness of the euphorbia down as well. Just tucking these in. And again, the framework of the birch is just lovely to hold the Germany in place. So you can manipulate it slightly.
You'd be glad to know, John Paul, that Duncan is watching you on his TV. He says, so you're 55 inches, filling the living room.
55 inches, I'm not far off 55 inches.
And then Bernie says, thank you to you for taking the time to show us how to make the fabulous creations, and happy Halloween.
Well, I hope you all have a lovely Halloween, and say we'll be doing our bit. Florals for me tonight. I will maybe try my hand a wee bit of baking cupcakes or something tomorrow, but it won't be very exciting. But we all try, and we all know our limits. So we'll see how that goes. So there we have just some of the Germany, bringing that color right down to match to touch the container, and also bringing the gold and the black up through the design so that it all marries together, and that'll create a lot of unity just by carrying those colors in and out through. Also the contrast of textures. You have the lovely leathery appearance of the Mahonia against the feathery Germanis, and one will just contrast off the other and complement the other, so you get that lovely overall appearance where one's showing the other off. And without using a lot of foliage in that design, there's a few Mahonia leaves, but also using the foliage of the Euphorbia. It's natural foliage, it looks more natural, and you don't need to overcrowd it by going out gathering a lot of foliages. So there's my firework design with the blacks and the golds. What has your favorite been so far?
Well, they're liking this one. Eileen says that it is stunning on Facebook, and Angela says on YouTube, gorgeous, love that arrangement. And then we have Marion Walsh on Facebook saying,
hi Marion.
Hi John Paul, thanks for sharing your fabulous talent and time.
It's always nice to see some of these familiar names as well popping up and keeping an eye on me, making sure I'm doing all right. So we'll move on. I'm going to do a low one this time. Oh, that's not right. I'll bring these back later on when we're finished, and we'll see how they all look together. So moving on to the next one, I'm going to do a low design. This is a lovely shallow container that someone gifted to me recently, so I thought I would use it for the first time. I'm going to add in some of the pumpkins. I'm going to start off with these bigger ones. And generally, I just pierce the bottom, so just the point of the knife, and then we can use the plant skewers and push that up inside. So we have the fireworks going off outside, which is great. And I'm surprised my wee dog hasn't started barking at them, because it's been barking at them all day. So I'm just going to add these in for focal point. So I have some floral foam in this, and I've just added the skewers in to stop them from rolling off.
That's why you're putting your pumpkins in. Phyllis is saying hello to you. She is watching in Ramelton and Donegal.
Hi, Phyllis.
Sandra says all your designs are fabulous. John Paul, thank you so much. Watching in Ballymena.
It's nice you're also close to home and also across the pond as well. Just adding some of these. These are just ordinary bamboo plant skewers. Put in, and then I cut that to size. I always put 3 in because I think 3 supports it better than the 2. So as you can see, when you put them in, it all depends on how you hold your mouth, well, how easy they go in. These sometimes can be quite hard, so I did before we came on. I did pierce the holes in them, but it's just a matter of seeing where the slice is now again to add that in. slightly. Just adding those in ever so nicely. So just to get us started off, I have some of the lovely burgundy Pittosporum that I got from my walk in the garden earlier on. So we'll just start adding these in. And you have the lovely contrast of the burgundy against the orange, which is lovely. Just quite low to start with. Clusters of the Pittosporum tucked underneath the orange just to help. As I say, the colour just shows it off. Absolutely gorgeous, and it's lovely, these lovely little frilly leaves. It just adds a lot of texture. Now in this I have some very shallow foam, so it will need a lot of water, or not a lot of water, but it'll need a bit of water quite often. I also have some moss. I find the moss stops the pumpkins from rolling as well. I'm just tucking this in around the edges, breaking that line of the container. So elongating that, and you can make this as long as you want, depending on the size of the table. If it was me, I would have it full size of the table, because the more flowers on the table, the less space there is for food. So then I don't have to worry about cooking. So that's my theory. Some of that lovely Pittosporum. So into that we'll add some of this lovely purple hydrangeas, a blue colour going over. It's becoming more purple over the last few weeks, but it has this lovely purple appearance at the minute, so I thought we'd get some of that and add that in as well. And again, tucking it in quite deep, so you have this different layers of materials coming through. And then you can bring that up slightly higher. Again, some underneath, just break the line. Like so. And then leaving the bit, just a smaller piece on the longer stem. And we can bring that up through. Give it that bit of extra height. The hydrangea is such a long lasting, and at this time of year, it's kind of moved from that soft feeling. It's a wee bit firmer. It lasts really well, and it dries quite well as too. And when it's kind of going over, I normally would just tie it up and set it in a bucket at the side, and let it dry off naturally, and then you can use it then through the winter, or should dare I say Christmas, and add a bit of colour to it, or colour enhance it, change the colour of it, depending on what I want to do with it. But it's great just for covering up the foam as well, rather than a lot of foliage. So we have it basically the same on both sides. It is quite heavy. So the lovely dark colours. What do you think of the really dark burgundies and that against the orange? It just makes it pop. Some of the other burgundy, I thought I'd go more burgundy foliages, and this one has more elongated stems.
Michelle says she's loving this, John Paul. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. I like to hear people's opinions and what people like. Also what people don't like as well is important. Just this lovely burgundy foliage just to get us started in this. And that one's lovely smaller leaves. It's a lovely tree in the garden, and it has lovely big long straight stems. And I am coming to Dublin next week to demonstrate for Temple Oak for the Dublin Flower Club. You might see bits of this foliage from a friend's garden. And if you do come along to any of the demonstrations that I'm doing this year, you will be introduced to my friend through her garden and through her foliages. Many people know her, but have never met her. And I will never tell anybody where her garden is because it's just a tranquil space just to go there, have a walk around, and to kind of get inspired by what she's been growing and what her garden produces.
Karen says she's loving this design.
So next into the design, something a little bit unexpected, and I'm going to do some of the blue delphiniums. And blue delphiniums is one of those things you wouldn't expect maybe at this time of year. But because we have a hint of blue in the hydrangea, again bringing the blue through, I thought the delphiniums, not typically a fall flower, but I had them for something else and I just thought they worked perfectly. And it's having that flower that you're not expecting to see it. It's a certain time of year, or to use at a certain time of year, but they just work. They're just delightful along with these hydrangea, and they kind of lighten the design as well, rather than it being so dark. So this would make a lovely table center. Something lovely coming up the center of the table. Some of the floret heads are still long enough that you can put in singly, which is lovely. And then some of the leucodendron, great long lasting, and again beautiful for the dark burgundy color.
While you're putting them in, John Paul, you've got a couple more hellos. Beverly is saying happy Halloween, John Paul. And Linda McLean is saying lovely to see you, John Paul.
I learned it twice in 1 week, eh? It's lovely that you're all here joining me and chiming in and saying hello. It's important that you say hello so that I know you're there, and that yeah, I can share some of the flowers that I'm using. Because my job's it's a very nice job that I have all these beautiful flowers that I work with every day. And one of my favorite things is just sharing the ideas with people, sharing the flowers that maybe people wouldn't see all the time. So I like to show the flowers off to as many people as I can. So by doing the flower hour, it's a nice way to show you what I'm working with, what I'm creating with, and kind of just having the behind the scenes of what we're doing for different functions and that as well. So now some of the lovely burgundy scabiosa, giving you that lovely pink. And we'll add them. And because their stems are so kind of wavy and curly, it just lets them, and bring them up high, let them dance, and let them do their own thing. So just following the stem, the shape of the stem. And the flowers tend to tell you really where they want to go. I mean, we have an idea of what we want them to do, but in the end, they dictate very well, and they let us see what they want to do, where they want to go, and how they want to be placed. So just some of the scabiosa, and as I say, they have these lovely twists and turns. So making advantage of that and making the most of it, so that they hang over the top of other materials. You can just bring those right down again to the base. So that one actually has two heads back to back on the one stem.
Greg saying on Facebook, hi to you, and that he loves the design.
Oh, thank you very much for all the feedback. I hope you all have enjoyed the last while and the flower materials that I've chosen to show you this evening. It's just a few of my ideas and a few of the things that I've been getting up to over the last couple of days as we're getting ready here for Halloween. at home and in the town and at work and for different events. So just bring one more left, so we'll add that. And we'll bring that to the side. And then I do have some of the lovely Japanese anemones, and it's a shame not to use them as one of my favorites from the garden for my afternoon at the garden. And you have the wee flower, you have the seed pod or the wee pod after the flower's gone. So you have its lovely life cycle, and then sometimes you just get the seed pods on their own, which is rather nice as well. So it gives some interest into the design, the little pods, and a lot of movement as well. I like flowers that give a lot of movement, so that if they catch a breeze, they kind of dance in the air. So just having that coming out, following the line of the lipodendron. Add this lovely. This is almost like a rosette type one. It has double the petals with some of the others. Bring that back as well. And it's lovely that when you have these lovely little flowers, that you give each one its space and let them sing on their own and let them do their own thing, so that one doesn't have the limelight over the other. Just a few of the lovely seed pods. So the seed pods is as interesting as the flowers are, I think, because it lets you see the flower at all different stages of its life, going from the bud right through to the open flower, and then it passes on to the little bud.
While you're finishing that off, John Paul Meehan is saying that arrangement is stunning, but she wouldn't expect anything less from you. And you were asking about what is your favourite arrangement. Fiona says it's so hard to choose a favourite as they're all stunning, but I choose the firework arrangement. You're so talented.
So everybody has their own favourite of the arrangements that we've made this evening. But I suppose it's your favourite depending on where you want to put them. So whether it's a dining table, you can have something like this, or a side table. I mean, just a lovely arrangement is greeting at the door. We do get a lot of kids trick or treating, and the parents do be with them. So it's lovely when you open the door, you have nice florals in the background, kind of gives that warm feeling. Or even something outside the door as well. Some florals. I know my mum has a leaves decor that she did outside the front door, and it looks really well with a lovely trick or treat sign. So something outside the door too is very welcoming. It lets people know that they can knock at the door and have that element of fun, and see whether you give them a trick or a treat. But I'll bring the arrangements. I hope this evening's been more of a treat than a trick for you all. So we'll bring on some of the designs that I've made. I'm going to give you any hands just to bring them on so you can have a look. And then, as I say, we'll get some photographs as well. We'll bring that one. And then this was the first one with some of the reflexed roses. That, and look at the firework one. Now, I don't have a lot of space, but let's see the lovely color palette here on the table. So we had the yellows, oranges, and the blues. Then we had a more minimal effect with the black container and the rosehip berries and calla lilies. It reminds me on a fire. And then we had the firework display with the oranges and the germany, all that spikiness at the top. And then we had the lovely centerpiece design with these pumpkins and the small gourds as well. So let me know what was your favorite. And as I say, we'll get some photographs taken of these maybe tomorrow and get them up on the page. You can all have a better look at them as well. But I hope you've all enjoyed the flower hour here this evening with thoughts on Halloween and fall flowers for your home decor. Whatever you're doing this Halloween, be safe and enjoy the family time and all the celebrations and all the festivities of the next few days. In the meantime, have a good few days, as I say, and we'll look forward to seeing you again very soon here at John Paul Florist for a flower hour.